Step one, you say you need to talk. He walks, you say sit down, it's just a talk. He smiles politely back at you. You step politely.
It's lovely to hear him talking about being of service, and it's definitely a huge part of my recovery, certainly giving back what was freely given to me. Gives me great pleasure to announce our professional speakers next, Mark Harrison and Dot Tutton. Are you going to do it individually, guys? Yeah. Well, first of all, Mark, if you'd like to come up, Mark, please.
Don't know whether to stay on the step. I probably will. Hi, I'm Mark Harrison. As it says, I'm the ex-commissioner. I think on the programme it's got me down as a commissioner. I'm no longer the commissioner in County Durham. I'm a citizen of Gateshead. So, and that's me. I want to just talk a little bit about background in terms of myself, and I'll make no apologies for that. I need to let you know where I'm coming from to make the rest of it make a bit more sense, really, I suppose. Talk a little bit about commissioning in terms of spiritual pathways, and talk a little bit about what would that take-home message be then. So, next one. So a bit about me. Well, I suppose first of all, when Anne-Marie said talk about spirituality, those two thoughts came into my mind at Durham Cathedral. One was, what the hell do I know about spirituality? And the second one was, well, there goes said the actress to the Bishop gags. I can't use them ones with Bishop Mark here. So it was like, well, you know, what do I say? Anne-Marie said, just tell them about your experience in terms of commissioning a spiritual pathway in County Durham. So, you know, that's what I'll focus on. I came to Durham in 1993, but I began nursing in 1988. And my first experience of fellowship was as a student nurse, and I was pointed in the direction of that meeting to get some experience. I was hungover. I'd been in the nurses' home that night, had a cracking party up until yon time in the morning, and didn't have a clue where I was going, but I was pointed towards this meeting. And I went in and I thought, where on earth have I landed here? Everyone's hugging each other. Talking about stuff that I wouldn't even talk to my family about, or my partner, let alone, you know, strangers. And at the end of the meeting, I still didn't know I was in a 12-step meeting, but at the end of this meeting, I didn't take sweets like Kenny, but it was as bad as that. At the end of it, everyone was hugging, and they hugged me and said, "You can't come back." And they obviously smelt the alcohol on the breath. You know, do come back. And I thought, well, that's the last you'll see of me. And I actually thought this lot are all God botherers, to be honest. And that was my view at that time. And it actually clouded the way I thought for a number of years, a good number of years really. And shameful to say that I've worked in substance misuse services for the past 26 years. And during that time, I spent more time ignoring that element than actually embracing it. And that's shameful, really. I worked in treatment services in County Durham, in needle exchange harm reduction services, managed services, and during that time, I think, you know, we were very precious about how we did business. We thought we were doing the right thing, but you know, our way was the right way, and everybody else was wrong. Very inward-looking. Very much an organisational culture that kept things out rather than embraced things and brought things in. So spiritual pathways had no room, I suppose, or weren't thought of in terms of having any credibility within the services that we provided. And neither did we go looking for them. So, you know, all these conflicting views, beliefs, and again, at this point, still thinking they're all God botherers, it's a cult, it's all of these sorts of things, and you know, and that was the view at the time. And in a position of management, or, you know, general management of services, you're in a position to keep those things out or bring them in. And again, shameful to say, we made sure that they didn't come in. Not overtly went out of our way to stop them coming in, but certainly didn't think this is a worthy part or a sensible thing to start giving people choice. So then I came into commissioning, and actually coming into commissioning was brilliant in all sorts of reasons, really, because it actually allowed me to lift my head up. Rather than being in this organisation, very inward-looking, thinking we'll be doing the right thing, it allowed me to actually raise my head up and for the first time look around, look at other ways of supporting people to achieve their goals, and looking at the evidence. You know, the evidence that's there. Tony this morning talked, and I've seen the slides with all that evidence, all of those on. And there's tons of it, absolutely tons of it. But even in the absence of all that, there's something about doing the right thing and building the evidence. You know, so it's about taking that leap of faith, I guess. If you haven't got access to that sort of stuff, but you can see people getting well, see people in recovery, see it up and down the country, see thousands of people marching, which you'll see tomorrow. For me, that's enough evidence to tell me that we've done the right thing in County Durham. I was fortunate, you know, and I know now the work that I do that people are in less fortunate positions than me in as commissioners up and down the country. You know, I had a really supportive manager. She's here today, and I'm actually, as the ex-commissioner, I can slag whoever I want off now in County Durham. All bets are off. But I was fortunate enough to have a really supportive manager in Lynn and as a Director of Public Health in Anna, you know, who give me the freedom to act. But in a sense, by and large, with resources getting less and less within public health departments, there's less and less people to challenge. So you might have 1, 2, 3 people who have got substance misuse experience. In a lot of instances, in fact, I'm probably the least religious person, which is why I sort of put the spirituality, religion bit and thought, why on earth? I'm using that word. why on earth am I speaking in Durham Cathedral about spirituality? I've got 3 children, 2 of which are christened. My wife wouldn't go through it a third time because the vicar had come to the house and I'd want to have the discussion about this, that and the other. But I envy people who have got that because it's fantastic to have that faith. And it's about, like I say, having that open mind. For me, it was about choice. And people keep saying, well, did keep saying when I was a commissioner, you know, you've just turned yourself over to 12-step abstinence-based recovery. There's no choice in County Durham. For a long time, there was no choice in County Durham. I firmly believe that there is choice in County Durham now. It's not all turned over to 12-step abstinence recovery. 12-step abstinence recovery has got a place at the table which it didn't have before. Fantastic outcomes. A lot of those outcomes are in this room today and a lot of them will be there tomorrow. And I think another key message is that, you know, there's real risks in this fixed sort of traditional approach and commissioners, particularly commissioners and public health colleagues, not keeping that open mind in terms of, you know, just looking up and thinking, well, there might be something in this. Let's have a look at it. Make your own mind up, but at least go and have a look at it, I suppose, is what I want to say. And kind of finally, second off the last slide, you know, we're talking, Tony again before said, let's look at and debate the definition of spirituality. We've got 5 ways to well-being, and if you can't pick spirituality out of that lot, then I don't know where you can. So whatever we do call it, let's just get on with it, really. Finally. And this is another thing that had a massive sort of impression on me early on. And it was, you know, religion is for people who are afraid of going to hell, and spirituality are for people who have already been there. And I know it's used a lot, but it kind of put things in place for me in terms of the religion versus spirituality sort of, you know, angst that was going on in my head, I suppose, at the time. And I'll leave it there. Thank you.